Hi, my name is Ted Denney, and you're at the Synergistic Research Factory, and we're going to go for a tour of my factory, show you how Synergistic Research products are made, show you some of the secrets behind what we do here. So come on, let's take a look. Okay, we're going to walk into the Synergistic Research Factory. This is our large solid-state Tesla coil, and we're going to show you that in a moment. Through a process we brand as quantum tunneling, we use extreme high voltage to realign how electricity travels through a conductor. In here, this is our burn-in room. This is where we put our power cells after they've been built, and we run them for at least 1 week to make sure that no components will fail, and also to give it a little speed up the burn-in process so that our end users can realize maximum performance quicker rather than later. These are finished cables, a lot of Galileo LE cables and atmosphere cables and some core UEF cables. These cables were built ahead of time and they're waiting to fill orders. So let's walk back into the factory. This is where we do shipping and receiving here. And here we're preparing Synergistic Research blue fuses. They've been selling for about 3 weeks now, and we've shipped almost 3,000 fuses already, so these guys have been extremely busy. Here we're building PowerCell 12 UEF SE line conditioners, 100% by hand in our factory. This is the board that generates the Schumann resonance for biasing the AC, as well as the 30-volt power supply for the active electromagnetic cells inside the power cell. Here they are, stuffing boards by hand here in the factory in California. And back in this corner is where we build all of our cables by hand. This will hold a cable in place where they are soldered by hand. XLR, RCA, BNC, and speaker cables. Everything is soldered by hand in our factory. This is an active ground block power cord in the final stages of being manufactured, again by hand. Here we're hand finishing chassis for the Atmosphere XL4 acoustic field generator. And Raul, this is my head technician. Raul and I have been working together since 1993. And Raul is a master cable builder. And what are you building here, Raul?
This is an analog AC.
Galileo analog AC. My goodness. Beautiful. Beautiful handwork. All right. Thank you, Raul. And as you can see, everything is done by hand here. Guys drink a lot of junk food around here. Back here is where we keep all of the parts for our different products on lockdown, and we employ the Japanese two-box method for controlling inventory in the production process. We fill a box, 2 boxes for the product that they're going to build that day. It gets debited out of inventory. It's handed to the production crew. At the end of the night, they hand the box back. We restock those boxes and put them on shelves, debiting the parts that make that product, and that's how we control our inventory here at SR. This is an automated cutting machine for small gauge wire that we use for connecting things like UEF tuning circuits to cables, things like that. little wires. They get cut exactly the right size every time, put into a box, and then that goes in storage, and that goes into the 2-box method so that they're building atmosphere level 3 cables. All the cables that they need for building that day are already pre-cut. They're in a box. They've been debited from inventory. They go back, they get built by hand, the boxes get refilled. Again, that's how we do it here at SR. Now I'm going to show you, once we've built a product, how we apply extreme high voltage with a Tesla coil to realign the conductive pathways through which electricity or signal travel. So this is a large solid-state Tesla coil, and it's attached to an oscilloscope back in the lab, which we use to calibrate the signal. And we calibrate the signal differently depending on the product that we're going to quantum tunnel, whether it's fuses, power cords, interconnects, power cell line conditioners, or all the components that go into the line conditioner. Pretty much anything that can conduct electricity at Synergistic Research is treated with this massive Tesla coil. So, are we ready? And that's quantum tunneling. Some people don't like the name. It's a name that I created, came up with to essentially describe the process of applying extreme high voltage to conductive pathways using a massive Tesla coil. This is the burn-in room where we burn in cables, and we use a couple of different signal and current generators to break in cables. These are the beginning stages of the new SR25 power cord, something very exciting that we'll be creating a video on soon, and various atmosphere cables here. Okay, now let's go into the lab, and this is where we do some of the development work for new technology. This is where one-offs are made. I'll get an idea. I work with my engineer. I explain to him my idea, Elliot, my idea. He then takes my idea, works through some of the details, and that's where the new products come from. So, from this little room comes a lot of new technology. Let's go into the listening room. Once I conceive of a new technology or a new concept, and we build a working prototype, this is where we do the final analysis. At the end of the day, it's all about what it sounds like. It's all about what the new technology or synergistic research product is going to sound like in the system. And there is no measurement that can accurately predict what will sound best to the human being. So the vast majority of our testing after we've done the objective measurements is to listen to a product in double-blind testing here in this room until we reach a conclusion as to whether or not it's a beneficial product, what its effect is going to be, and whether or not this is a product we can take to market. Let me show you my system. All of the components in this system are resting on top of Synergistic Research active tranquility bases. This is a variation on my patented electromagnetic cell technology, but rather than conditioning the AC traveling through the electromagnetic cell, through inductive coupling, we are conditioning each of the circuits or components on top of the tranquility base, which conditions the signal while it's still in the component. You can't get any closer to the source than that. And one of the demonstrations we're going to do on this recording that we're making is to turn all of those on and off and let you hear what happens, not only in the system, in the playback system, but also in the mastering system, the recording system in the other room. Finally, the speakers that we're using here today are Magico M3 speakers. These speakers are amazing, and we are placing HFTs in the prescribed pattern, X's on top in the front, standard HFTs on the bottom, 2.0s on the side, and a standard HFT in the back, and we'll also be demonstrating that in the new recording. And last but not least, this is a new UEF paint, 3 microns thick, the same thickness as any standard house paint. Rather than paint the walls with it, which would over dampen this room, we've painted foam board that we slide around in the room until we found exactly the right positioning for treating the acoustics in this room. But this paint will be available through my sister company, UEF Labs LLC, and we'll be licensing this technology to paint companies and chemical companies very soon. So imagine a bar or a restaurant that gets very loud as the night wears on and it becomes more crowded. Those bars and restaurants will soon be painted with UEF paint, and they will remain quiet no matter how many people are in the bar or restaurant. This is a revolutionary technology, and one of the things that we'll be doing is removing all of these panels at once and letting you hear what this room sounds like with and without on the same recording on a high-res direct-to-disc recording for analog, and we'll also have the high-res files available for free download for 6 months very soon on our website. These are black boxes. These small resonator arrays take the place of large monolithic bass traps which visually dominate any space that they're in. But in this room, we're using my black box to treat the low frequencies in the room, and you'll be able to hear that too in the recording. So thank you for visiting Synergistic Research, and we'll see you next time.